4th of July, fireworks in the sky, but the truth's still buried underground. Royal Oak, yeah. They told me, wave the flag while the chains still clank. Told me praise the names on the blood-soaked banks. Told me freedom was born in the room full of men who wrote liberty down while they own human skins. The fucking founding fathers and the myths they made. I don't pledge to the lie, I don't kneel to the page. You can light up the sky, I remember the smoke from the fields, from the ships, from the necks in the rope. You call it independence, I call it selective. You call it patriotic, I call it protective. Of the story so fragile it cracks when questioned. Truth knocks once and they call it aggression. Yeah. Red for the blood they spill, white for the lies they told, blue for the bruises left on the bodies they sold. Don't ask me to celebrate what never included mine. I came with the receipts, I came to redraw the line. Fuck your founding fathers, I don't owe them praise. They built a nation on our backs, then told us smile through the pain. Fuck your founding fathers, let the fireworks cry. This ain't freedom for the people. If the truth still gotta hide, yeah. No justice, no peace, no lie gets crowned. We don't worship old ghosts when the roots scream loud. Fuck your founding fathers. On the 4th of July, I'm lighting up the truth while they light up the sky. They say, look how far we came. I say, look what it cost. Every courthouse got a shadow, every victory got lost. They gave statues to the takers, made heroes out of thieves. Put their faces on the money while the hungry couldn't breathe. Don't lecture me on freedom from a stolen land stage. Don't quote old documents with blood on the page. Don't tell me be grateful for a seat at the table when my people built the room and got treated unstable. You can't buy me through the truth, you can dress it in stars, but the anthem still echoes like chains behind bars. I don't hate the people, I hate the disguise. I hate when the guilty get praised as the wise. Red for the blood they spill, white for the lies they told, blue for the bruises left on the bodies they sold. Don't ask me to celebrate what never included mine. I came with the receipts, I came to redraw the line. Fuck your founding fathers, I don't owe them praise. They built a nation on our backs, then told us smile through the pain. Fuck your founding fathers, let the fireworks cry. This ain't freedom for the people. If the truth still gotta hide, no justice, no peace, no lie gets crowned. We don't worship old ghosts when the roots scream loud. Fuck your founding fathers. On the 4th of July, I'm lighting up the truth while they light up the sky. Don't call it hate when the wound speaks back. Don't call it division when our name was fact. Don't call it progress while the system still bites. Don't call it freedom if we still gotta fight. I'm not here for comfort, I'm not here to pretend. I'm here for the children who deserve better than this. Better than myths, better than chains, better than flags used to cover up pain. So this one's for the ancestors who never got rest, for the names never written but who gave us their best, for the mothers who prayed, for the fathers who ran, for the babies born fighting in the stolen man's plan. This is not disrespect, this is correction. This is not rebellion, this is resurrection. You can keep your parade, I keep speaking the truth. I don't need permission to remember my roots. Royal oak in the soil, truth in the flame. If the crown came with silence, then I don't want the name. But if the crown means standing when the whole world falls, then I'm 10 toes down till the real story's told. Fuck your founding fathers, I don't owe them praise. They built a nation on our backs, then told us smile through the pain. Fuck your founding fathers, let the fireworks cry. This ain't freedom for the people. If the truth still gotta hide, no justice, no peace, no lie gets crowned. We don't worship old ghosts when the roof scream loud. Fuck your founding fathers. On the 4th of July, lighting up the truth while they light up the sky. Fireworks fade. truth don't die. Royal low. 4th of July. Not your midnight, not your lie, not your version of my life.
Right, hello everyone. Grand Rising. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Sunday vitamin. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right. Hello, the lounge. Hadassah is here. Juju B. All right, let's get into a dark tube. Deronda. Okay, 57 Beige Fox, Candy Girl, 27 DD, Lillian X, Alice, the Prince of Paraphernalia, Nicole, Gregory. All right, let's get it popping. Everybody hit that like button. I see you, Skeletor fan, Aqua Girl Rising. Okay, Trisha, Songwriter Sunny, Aquarius MC, Precious Jim is here, Trisha. All right, Alice, I see you, beloved. So everybody hit that like button. Let's get ready to get into it. Shout out to everyone in the chat. I see you, Michael Phillips. Okay, and shout out to everyone in the chat. And all my loyal royals. And a big shout out to my moderators because y'all know they be putting in work. I see you, Chris B, Bronze Flat Power God, Queen Amoni Huey. Okay, so let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes. Here we go.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right. So don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Kratz. And you can also find her products at Walmart.com. And don't forget that she sells beard oil. Okay, so with that all being said, let's get into it because there are a whole lot of lies, misinformation, as we know, and conspiracy theories. Okay, now being added into the mix. I mean, I told you all days ago how some people are saying that this whole thing with Nolan Wills is a psyop. Okay, now we already know this came from the MAGA minions, but the sad thing is some silly black folk have even started saying the same thing. And nothing annoys me more than to hear my own good people, okay, quoting what MAGA minions say, spewing the same ridiculous, obtuse rhetoric. Okay, somebody make it all make sense. But also, now we have more questions than answers because on yesterday, me and Secret Service Sam talked about how there was allegedly a possible sighting of of Nolan on a boat. Okay, the person bending over did kind of look like him, but of course, we don't know if that was actually him or not. Okay, so there's just so many different things going on, and also let's not forget about how you can change the metadata on photos. So was the picture from the pool party actually taken June the 27th, or was it actually taken July the 4th and uploaded the next day, which would make more sense? And let's not forget the guy had USA etched into his chest. Now, like I told you all, the lady who initially posted that stuff lied about knowing Nolan's mother. So, I have to take that with a grain of salt. But even though she may have been lying about the circumstances, when they posted that picture, it very likely could have been on July the 4th. Okay, but so let's get into it because also the funeral is tomorrow. And it is so sad that even right before laying their son to rest, they have to endure all this hateful and racist rhetoric, people being ignorant, not only people dragging them online and just saying all kinds of hateful things. Now, I showed you all last night how they received something in the mail with a picture of Christine Wansley with Reverend Al Sharpton and Ben Crump on either side of her with dollar signs, basically saying that they're just out for money. Now, they don't do these things to anyone else other than people in the Black community who are only seeking justice. They start pocket watching and saying all kinds of crazy things, just flat out telling lies and trying to get us not to support our own people. But one thing I guarantee you that they will never do, they will never stop supporting their own people simply because we say so, simply because we don't think that they should. That's what they don't do. And when we are saying certain things about their people, when they are nefarious, they will not mimic those same talking points ever. Let's talk about the lady who sat up there and called that poor 5-year-old child the N-word at the park, and they sent her over $600,000. Okay? They didn't criticize or ridicule her, and they didn't really care how we felt about it, nor what we had to say about it. But some of our silly Negroes, in my opinion, absolutely take on their talking points. Start listening to what they say and letting it make sense, which is so crazy. Anyway, likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. Now, this is a post from the Public Opinion Court. The Nolan Wells family doxed and is receiving hateful mail as they grieve the loss of Nolan Wells. But the USPS can find you. See, that's what these foolish people don't know. It's just like I was telling Sam yesterday, and I have told you all before, that if people are false flagging your channels or just doing silly things online or whatever, you can get an attorney to subpoena the files or the records, okay, from YouTube, TikTok, whatever platform it is, because they have the information to their IP addresses, and you can easily find out who's doing it, and then you can sue them or whatever actions you want to take. If they were harassing you, you can file charges, okay? But so I guess they don't know that these things can be traced. So they're sending hate mail, and let's not forget, just the other day, I played you all the audio where someone was calling in a report and saying that there was someone had been knocking on their child's window. And I told you all that was supposedly, okay, that was allegedly not Carmelo, that was allegedly Nolan's parents and one of his younger siblings. So these are the people being harassed and threatened. Now the other folk, like those thugs that went with Nolan, and then the judge and all of them, they're trying to make themselves out to be victims so that no one's pointing the finger of blame at them. Okay, so anyway, the USPS investigators can find you in Denver, Colorado. This particular package is potentially traceable by USPS investigators. Okay, the mail piece shows, okay, it has the barcode, the visible indication number, and all of that. But so these things can absolutely be traced. Now, they posted the Nolan Wells family docs and is receiving hateful mails as they grieve the loss of Nolan Wells. Now, the Denver cancellation strongly indicates that it entered or was processed through Denver 802 postal area, but that alone does not identify who mailed it. So preserve the original envelope exactly as received. Do not write on it, cut out the stamp, remove the contents unnecessarily, or repeatedly handle the barcode area. Keep it inside a clean paper or plastic evidence sleeve. So the barcode does not necessarily reveal the sender's name just by scanning it publicly. Investigators would have to determine what system issued the postage, whether it was purchased through an online account, kiosk, a retail terminal, or a postage vendor, whether purchase records, payment information, transaction time, or surveillance footage still exist. Okay, where the envelope was deposited and processed. And so the Postal Inspection Service specifically advises retaining original envelopes and mailing documents when reporting suspected mail-related offenses. Now, there are meaningful investigative leads on this envelope, but only USPS, the Postal Inspection Service, or law enforcement with proper legal process could determine whether those leads identify the purchaser or sender. Okay, and this is who posted it, the Public Opinion Court. So I just find it all interesting. Like I said, these people are so obsessed with Black folk, and they are so evil and wicked. Okay, they have no empathy or sympathy. And see, this is why I always tell you, these people don't care anything about the truth. It's just a waste of time trying to reason with them, because you cannot reason with people who are completely illogical and nonsensical. That's what you can't do. You can't talk logic to them because they don't understand it, nor do they care to. Okay, during this, right before this lady has to put her son to rest, just so callous and cruel, like I said. Now, with that all being said, also, here are the requests or the instructions for the funeral. Now, as I told you on yesterday, she basically said if you're coming there to try to meet a celebrity or something like that, they don't need the fake love. And then some people didn't like it when she said that. And they're like, oh, wow, why is she saying that? Well, because of the hate mail and the hateful things that some of her own people are saying on the internet. Now, we expect the MAGA minions to say those things. We expect that from them, but your own people. And that's what's so sad about it. They really don't know or don't even feel like they're raccoons. But if you are a Black person and you're mimicking the same talking points as MAGA, you're absolutely a raccoon. What else could you possibly be? Okay, what else could you possibly be? So it says funeral is private and will only be for family, friends, and classmates. No cell phones allowed during the service. Repast is invite only with no +1. Security will be present at both locations. The service will be live streamed via the local news station. Please be respectful and honor our wishes. Thank you again to all those who are praying and supporting us as we continue to advocate for an honest and transparent investigation. That's all they're asking for. And I don't see why that's such a problem for some of these nefarious people. And then some people were saying, some people were asking, which I thought was interesting. Some people were asking, why are they allowing the press in? Why are they allowing the press in? Well, the same people that are saying that are some of the people that want to go. Okay. Hold on, beloveds. Now, so this is what they say. And here's the thing. They wanted to, act like it's such a big deal. Some people, why is she allowing the press in? Oh, this is a clout chase. Oh, this isn't real. It's a psyop. All kind of crazy conspiracy theories. But the truth of the matter is, like I told y'all before, this lady has tried to keep it together to get justice. At the end of the day, also, the reason she would have the press there is likely the same reason that Emmett Till's mother, the same reason she had the press there at Emmett's funeral. So people can see what hatred does. All right. And because so many people from the public have a vested interest in the case at this point, also. But anyway, let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. And these people out here lying about the autopsy report, I don't know where they're getting all this from. They keep saying and insisting there was no water in his lungs. But how would you, in fact, know that? How would you know that if the autopsy report has not come out yet? Now, even though they did say that the body wasn't waterlogged, that still doesn't necessarily mean that there was no water in the lungs. Okay. D major, of course, it wouldn't be open casket, beloved. I wouldn't think so, because they're trying to have a home going, like a celebration of life, not a funeral where it's going to be sad and all of that. So they definitely wouldn't want to show the open casket, especially because we know that his face was unrecognizable. So it won't be one of those Emmett Till moments, I'm sure, because that would not be considered anything that's like a celebration. Okay. That would be something so horrifying to see and definitely heartbreaking, I'm sure. Okay, so let's continue.
I am just shocked by what people will believe with no proof. There are people running around on Beyonce's internet interpreting what the autopsy of Nolan Wells says. Yeah, somehow they're doing that with no autopsy report being released. Yeah, that's fact. No autopsy report, the independent autopsy or the state autopsy, has been released as of Sunday in connection with the death of Nolan Wells. Really? Read this with me slowly. Autopsy results have not been released. The case remains under investigation. And we got people out here lying on an autopsy report like they're Donald Trump talking about the 2020 election. And people see nothing wrong with this. Let me give you a news break. If there is an autopsy report released, why don't you all ask those people who are talking about these alleged autopsies to just show it? Because in high-profile cases, when autopsy releases are released, the public has access to them, and you can actually have an autopsy report in your video. If you all are listening to people who are not even producing autopsy reports or have never been anywhere near the Gulf Coast of Mississippi or a coroner's office, then maybe you should stop listening to them because they're spreading misinformation. Yeah. All right. That's all I got for now. When an autopsy report does become available, I promise you I will post it. Until then, there is not any reports being released. Y'all have the day you deserve, and stop spreading misinformation and start holding those who do spread misinformation accountable. Peace. Sometimes I am.
Okay, and so like I was telling you all, beloveds, some people seem to think that because the body wasn't waterlogged, that there is no water in the lungs, like I was telling you. But the fact of the matter is, a corpse can have fluid in the lungs, which is known as pulmonary edema. Okay, so even if the body is not waterlogged, all right, and this fluid can accumulate from natural heart failure, toxic reactions, different things, natural postmortem changes where blood pools in the lungs due to gravity and decaying tissues. Okay, so those are some reasons there could be fluid in the lungs, even if the body isn't waterlogged. So when they're saying, oh, there's no fluid in the lungs, they don't know what's in there. None of us do. The autopsy reports neither have come out yet. So I don't know where people keep getting this from. And then somebody was telling me this yesterday about no fluid in the lungs, and they were saying this, saying that. I said, listen, this is all speculation. Because they were talking about the body having been moved and placed there. Now, I believe that the body may have been placed there as well, but that's just a thought. That's just an opinion. Okay, it's not a fact. Nothing that I know for sure. Nothing I can substantiate, nor can any of us. But so they were telling me, oh, so-and-so said that the body didn't have fluid in the lungs, and so they had to have taken the body and put it there, and this and that. I said, well, that is possible, and, I think they may have done that, but we don't know that yet. Yeah, we do know because there's no water in the lungs. I said, where are you getting all this from? Who's telling you there's no water in the lungs? So-and-so said it. Okay, they don't know that. The autopsy report has not been released. Yeah, but they said, like, stop. And the thing that I always tell you all is I like to give my opinion. We all do. But I like to base or come to my opinion, arrive at my conclusion or thinking based upon the evidence and the facts and the information that we have out there. The things that we have seen. What I don't like to do ever is just make up random scenarios that have nothing to do with anything that has been proven as of yet. Like some people literally do that, and I find it so interesting. It's just so crazy to me. But let's continue. Let's continue. Like, step, everyone, please. A like and share. Thank you in advance. And y'all know we have got to talk about toast on Lenox, because what was the owner thinking? I have so many questions.
Parents are the mouthpiece for their son, who's no longer here, who can no longer defend himself, who can no longer say, you know what, mom, dad, I did accidentally drown, or to say, no, mom, like something else went down. This is what actually happened. So someone decided that they were going to take a photo of Christine Wonsley where Al Sharpton was present and I believe Ben Crump, and they drew an arrow with money with the dollar signs on the photo. And they actually sent this to her home. I've seen countless videos of people saying that the family should be ashamed of themselves because they're making it about race. They're making it about race because they asked a question, what happened to their son? So because they don't believe that he accidentally drowned, and they're saying, you know what? We want to look a little further into this because there are signs that point to something else. The family never came out and said that Nolan Wells was the only black kid on that island and that it was just him and his friends on the island, because countless videos shows you that it was multiple people on that island and multiple boats. We could say hundreds of people and boats. I see a lot of videos, and when I go in the comments, people are like, exactly, nothing was done to Nolan Wells. He accidentally drowned. He chose to stay because he wanted to talk to this young lady. He didn't want to get his phone wet. That's why he left the phone on the boat. And what I'm trying to make sense of is, why would somebody choose to stay behind but decide that they're going to leave their mobile device, their only way to communicate with family and friends? Why would they choose to leave that behind? And again, I'm not making this a black and white issue. I have questions. I just want to know why, when one of the friends contacted Christine Wonsley, why did they fail to mention that they had his phone? A lot of people keep saying, but the mom went and picked up the phone. Correction. She said it clear as day. In Good Morning America, she said her friend Tashima, Jayvon's mother, went and retrieved the phone. And they're arguing in the comments, but he left the phone on the boat. Okay, say he did leave the phone on the boat, but why, when his friend discovered or friends discovered that the phone was on the boat, when you called his mother, why did you not say, oh yeah, he ain't make it back with us, but we do have his phone? She tracked the phone back to the same person's home that called her. His father and friends said, clear as day, Nolan was never the type to leave his friends. If he came with 5, he leaves with 5. Because these parents have questions, they're making it about race? Or is it the public that makes things about race? Because apparently you can't ask questions about your deceased loved one and how they passed, because things don't make sense. And from my understanding, the Cajun Navy searchers searched a spot where they said there was nothing there. But then Nolan Wells' body turns up there. And whoever sent that photo to the Nolan Wells family, I believe it's someone that knows them. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it's someone that knows them, because that individual likely saw that family is my neighbor. So the address is right there for them to see, but they didn't put a return address. So the word coward is an accurate description of what this person is. If Nolan Wells accidentally drowned, I do see the family accepting it because they were able to do their own independent autopsy. Just because they want to know what happened to their son and not accept, okay, at the moment, at this particular time that he accidentally drowned, I don't see anything wrong with that. And I feel like shame on y'all for making them feel like they can't ask questions. That was their child. How many times have people served time in prison and then you hear that it comes back they were actually innocent because someone actually did their job? They took the time to look. They took the time to do the work. So I apply that to the Nolan Wells family. Someone needs to take a look. People need to do their job. Something alone about them not saying that they had Nolan Wells' cell phone just doesn't sit right. You have a retired judge coming out and saying, because of these things alone, there should have been more probing. There should have been arrest warrants. There should have been this or that. People aren't playing. Well, not everybody's playing into the racial narrative. A lot of people do, though, have questions, just like Nolan Wells' parents do. Now, if y'all want to say this or that about Al Sharpton and Ben Crump, that's fine. But stop condemning the family because they chose an avenue that would get them answers about the death of their child. And a lot of people are like, oh, she's doing too much social media for me. I don't feel like she's grieving. This is about money because she's doing too much social media for me. The parents are the mouthpiece for their son, who's no longer here, who can no longer defend himself, who can no longer say, you know what, mom, dad, I did accidentally drown. Or to say, no, mom, like something else went down. This is what actually happened. There's things surrounding this case that don't make sense. What do you think about the hate mail that was sent to the Nolan Wells family's home? And why do you think the Nolan Wells family is receiving so much hate just for asking what happened to their son? There are people that actually accept what they're told, and then there are people that go and get answers. Imagine how many people have lost loved ones and had to accept what they were told because they didn't have the resources to get answers. The parents are.
She's absolutely right. And here's the thing. They're receiving all of this hate because these young white men may have had something to do with the death of her son. Okay, now the people that are sending the hate mail and saying all these wicked things or whatever, those people clearly, in my opinion, feel like they absolutely did something to Nolan. Because if they felt like there was nothing to see here, folks, and they hadn't done anything, they just sit there and wait for the truth to come out. They just sit there and wait for the autopsy report to come out and clear them all. So they absolutely believe that they did something. That's why they're doing all these things to try to disrupt, the thinking process of his parents, to try to make them feel bad, disturbing them while they're grieving and all of that, being so hateful and malicious, trying to silence them and trying to silence those of us who are speaking out, trying to act as though we're just making up things and all of this. And like they said, one of them said a witch hunt. Oh, they just want those white boys to be guilty. Mm-hmm. Truth is, we want whoever is guilty, whoever did it, if anyone did something, okay, we want them to suffer the consequences. But right now, those three boys, those three young men, they're the ones looking the most guilty because of all of the actions that they've taken after. Okay? Please pay attention. And I listened to the interview that Nolan's mother did. I saw this lady had reposted it or whatever. And I was listening to it again and I noticed something. Okay, they've been telling so many lies, and we're going to get to it momentarily. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. That's why you have to go back and listen to stuff, because just like yesterday, I cannot believe that we all had missed that they literally said that those young men were on that boat making the distress call, and they were right in proximity to where Nolan's body was found just 2 days later. Okay, and how come they didn't find it when they were out there doing all that looking, and the island is only 10 to 13 miles? Okay, very suspicious, but let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please. Don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance.
How everyone's trying to poke a hole in Nolan's Wells' mother stories. Every time she does an interview, someone finds something to poke a hole in about her story. And it's sad to say this, to 85% of these people on this internet don't believe her. It's so many theories out here. The young man still alive. The young man been unalived. When I Googled something else, his picture popped up and he been unalive since, I think the person said 19. It's so many theories out here. But I want to ask y'all parents a question. Y'all, some of y'all gonna say, I want to bring her to the internet. I want to bring her to the internet. I want to bring her to the internet for all these opinions. Okay. Maybe so. But at the end of the day, put yourself in her shoes for just 1 second. Have any of y'all actually sat back and thought, the ones who questioning everything about her story, have any of y'all actually sat back and thought, man, I'm being harmful and disrespectful to her? When I mean harmful, yeah, y'all saying harmful things, y'all saying disrespectful things, y'all saying things that will mess up this lady character. Basically, that's what y'all trying to do by saying she's a lying mother whose son been unalive, who's going on with a, what y'all say, a conspiracy theory or some shit, fraud from, I don't know, money things. Like it's so many theories out here. What if it was your child? And it happened to get to the internet. You don't want the internet attention. Everything could get to the internet now. It's people out here that don't want this internet attention. But what if it got to the internet and you got this much attention and you doing interviews after interviews after interviews, and each interview you saying different things, but you just the grieving mother, And maybe even when you sit back and watch the interview, you be like, oh no, that wasn't like that. That was like this. I wasn't thinking at the time. Why not get her a benefit of the doubt until the truth come out? My thing is with y'all on this woman like right on rice. Y'all on everything this woman do, everything she don't do. Any little thing she do, Ben Crumb chasing money. I don't know nothing about that man. I just know his name is Ben Crumb. That's it, and he's supposed to be an attorney. So I don't know nothing about an ambulance chaser, money chaser. I don't know nothing about that. I know as being a mother that I don't care what color you are. And that's the thing. I don't care what color you are. You're a mother and you lost your child. That does something to me because I have a child and I only have one.
Okay, we gotta go. Now she's telling us her life story. Okay, moving right along. Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. I mean, I know I'm long-winded, but at least I'm usually talking about something juicy.
What if the boat was the weapon? What if the boat was a part of the crime in more ways than one? Stay with me. This hit me in the middle of my sleep. I could be wrong. I don't know enough about boats, no, but I know y'all been saying the boat had a GPS and it recorded making a detour. And if the boat was having mechanical issues, why did it not go back to the dock? It went somewhere else, came back, went back to that new place. What if the call they made in distress was not feigned distress because maybe the boat had just been used because a fight ensued on board? Someone was taken overboard. Dental records had to be used to identify said person. Nolan is his name. What if that boat is a weapon? What if that boat has DNA on it? What if the boat was used in the commission of the crime for more than just transporting a body? What if, I don't know. What if the boat?
I don't know where she came up with that from. Like I said, people are just pulling stuff out of the air. Okay, let's continue. What if the boat was the weapon? Okay, I have several questions.
Nolan Wells was doomed from the beginning. There are 16 states in the United States that are considered the South. Mississippi is known as the most racist. When I was a little girl, I was always told by the elders, you stay your black ass out of Mississippi. You go to Mississippi and you come back. You go to Biloxi, Mississippi in the morning, you are back before sundown because Mississippi is not a sundown city. It is a sundown state. Mississippi was so racist that it was the very last state in the United States to ratify the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery. Mississippi didn't ratify the amendment until Nolan Wells was 5, until the boy was 5 years old. Mississippi didn't ratify the amendment to abolish slavery until February of 2013. It took them 15 decades. Mississippi failed to submit the required paperwork to ratify and abolish slavery. For 15 decades. And if I can remember correctly, wasn't DeMartavian Reed hung from a tree at Delta State University, which is in Mississippi? Nolan Wells didn't just attend a high school that was predominantly white. Nolan Wells also resided in a city that was over 79% white. Nolan Wells never stood a chance.
Okay, you all heard that. Sad but true. Okay, specifically because Nolan didn't see color. And I don't blame Nolan for that. I think that given the climate that we live in currently, and as well as in the past, and specifically with the nefarious state with the history of Mississippi, I think that his parents should absolutely have sat down and spoken to him about race and racism and race relations in this country. And that even though you stay around these people and you may be friends with people who don't look like you, at the end of the day, you have to be careful when you want to go do things with them because you should not be going by yourself. I just wish they'd had that conversation, but sadly, all of our people don't get it. And how do you know that all of our people don't get it? Because, some people are going in really hard in the paint on Nolan's parents, but I don't feel like they should be because there are plenty of Black parents clearly that don't tell those children those things, as we can see from all of these reports about the same things happening to other people. These are, to some of us, these are things that you should absolutely know. That should come as common sense. But that's because some of us view the world differently than some of the others who look like us. And you know why that is? Because some people have not really experienced racism in their mind. They may have a different idea or view of racism than you or I do. And so they just don't, or they may choose to be woefully blind to it, not want to see it. Just like Nolan's father said, I would hope that race didn't play a role in it. Now, if you ask me, I honestly think that his parents absolutely know that race played a role in it. But I think that they don't want to just come out and say that because they probably don't want any more backlash. I don't know. I'm speculating. That could absolutely not be the case. I'm just saying that what I think it could be is that they just don't want to come out and say anything that's going to make anything that they're trying to do look bad. Because remember how they did that with Carmelo's family? Immediately, oh, they're playing the race card. But I want you to pay attention because they're going to say it regardless. So if I were them and I felt like race had something to do with it, I would absolutely say that. Because the bottom line is the MAGA million types, they're going to accuse you of it regardless. And look at how they're sitting there saying, oh, they brought Ben Crump and Reverend Al Sharpton, the race hustlers, and they're bringing race into it. Race was already brought into it. As soon as we heard about it, we all thought that it had something to do with race just because of the history of these things happening to lone Black folk going off with people, a group of white folk. So that's just what it is. Okay, that's just what it is. At the end of the day, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But hold on. Let's go, because first of all, I want to know if you all think that Jayvon's mom nudged him. Okay, because I didn't catch this until I saw a video on TikTok where someone pointed it out. It looked like she nudged him. I didn't even notice when we watched the video days ago. So anyway, we're going to get to that in a moment. But before we do, let's go to this. Because this video, I think the person put it out like over a week ago. I just happened to see it on my timeline, so I looked at it. And I said, whoa, 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 wait a minute. Somebody was telling lies. Okay, so let's listen to it. And see, that's why it's always good to go back and review things. Hold on. Let me make sure this is the video. This looks like the video we just watched. Hold on, beloveds. Likes up, everyone, please. Yeah, this is it. Now, in this video, the young woman is saying that there's no such person as Katie because clearly she doesn't believe there was a Katie. But mind you, we know that there is a Katie now, Katie McCormick. But like I said, this video was done like maybe over a week ago. Okay, so let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. But listen to what Nolan's mom says when she plays the clips from the interview. Please pay attention.
I want y'all to watch this clip of Nolan mother speaking. What I'm so confused at is why a parent didn't reach out to her instead of a child. Okay, that's supposed to be his friends, but at the end of the day, if I'm giving you my child as a parent and you don't come back with my child, shouldn't a parent reach out to a parent and say, let the parent know? First of all, why the fuck y'all leave without him anyway? Shouldn't y'all call the parent when y'all was there to tell the parent, you know, your son is not returning with us? But y'all watch this clip of the mother.
Point did you realize that something might not be right?
Honestly, I kind of figured he was just staying another night, which again is not uncommon with his friend, you know.
On Saturday.
Yeah, especially if, you know, it was the 4th of July. All the kids were kind of, you know, some of them were getting ready to go back, especially the young boys who played sports. So this was their last weekend. So we just kind of figured, hey, he's with his friends, he's back on land. But typically Nolan he does a good job of communicating. So that was just, whenever we got the call, I saw his friend's name and my heart just dropped.
Which friend was it?
So this was Warren that called, that
Warren
made the phone call, which, you know, and he did say, hey, you know, Miss Christine, you know, I guess trying to calm the parent in me, but, you know, you can't calm that. You tell me my child is missing.
Do you remember his words? What did he say?
He said, "Hey, Miss Christine, have you seen Nolan or talked to Nolan?" I said, "No, I thought he was with you guys." He's like, "No, nobody's talked to him. We left the island at, I think he said 3 p.m. and he wanted to stay because he was talking to a girl named Katie." And so then it turned into, Katie is also missing. No one can find her. And the explanation of no one knows.
So where's Katie? That was the only name y'all could have came up with was Katie. So where's Katie at?
Okay, so this lady thought there was no Katie, as I said. But here's the thing that I thought was very interesting. First of all, she said that they told her, she thinks he said they left the island at 3. Said they left the island at 3. Now, Judge Ashley Cole says that they last saw Nolan at 3 and left the island at 4:30, right? But did y'all notice that she said Warren told her that Katie was also missing? Did y'all notice that? I forgot all about that. Now, why would Nolan say, why would she say why would he say that Katie also was missing along with Nolan? Why would Warren say that? And why would he use the word missing? First of all, how would he know that Katie's missing? Who told him? Because I thought Nolan just met Katie that day. So did they already know Katie? And if they didn't already know her, how did they find out she was missing? How did they get in touch with her? Did they have her phone number? Did they get her number out of Nolan's phone? Why would they say she was missing? Oh, Katie's missing too? Too? What made them so sure that Nolan was missing? Now, here's the thing. I could see the mom thinking that Nolan's missing as soon as she finds out that he's not with them. Because, of course, a mother would be concerned because he left with y'all. Now, y'all are sitting here asking me where he's at. So I could see the mom immediately thinking that maybe my son is missing. But for Warren, why would he jump to that conclusion? Okay, because teenagers know how their friends behave and what they do and all of that. So I would think that when he called Nolan's mom, rather than saying, "Hey, Miss Christine, have you seen Nolan?" Really listen to how suspicious this all is. "Hey, Miss Christine, have you seen Nolan? Have you talked to him?" Why would you say that unless you already felt like he was missing? Because just because you hadn't heard from him during the day, and you still had his phone, by the way. So here's the thing. If you still had Nolan's phone, by the way, and you thought maybe he forgot it on the boat, but now you have it, guess what you could have done? You could have gone through Nolan's phone and called other friends in his phone that you don't have the number to or that you haven't already contacted. Because he has other friends. Let's not forget he has a group of Black friends and a group of white friends. And they don't all seem to hang out together at the same time. So why didn't he just go through the phone that they had and start calling people, "Hey, can I speak to Nolan? Is he with you all? Because I have his phone." How come none of those type of calls were made? Because that would be one of the first things I would do. If my friend wanted to stay behind and insisted that I leave them, and then we left, and then I realized, oh, she left her phone. She left her phone, so I have a phone. So I would be waiting for maybe a couple of hours at least for the friend to call me from someone else's phone asking about their phone so we can meet up or they can come and get it or whatever. If that didn't happen, then I would start calling numbers in the phone. Okay, other friends. "Hey, have you talked to so-and-so?" And then if none of them have, I would call them up and say, "Hey, is Nolan home? Is Nolan at home?" That might be what I would say. I wouldn't say, "Hey, Miss Christine, have you talked to Nolan? Have you heard from him?" Like you're already predicting or already knowing that's implying that something bad has happened. Why would you say it like that? And then you tell the mother, and all of a sudden she's upset, of course, because hey, he left with y'all. What do you mean? Have I talked to him? And then when you're on the phone with the mom right now, right at that moment, you don't say, well, we have his phone. Do you want me to bring it to you? Maybe you can figure out where he's at, or maybe there's something in his phone or whatever. You don't say anything about the phone. You don't say anything about it. Okay, you don't say anything about the phone. You don't say anything about it. So make it all make sense. Now, with that all being said, let's continue. Awkward Girl Rising says they could have went back to give him his phone. Is that serious? They could have at the very least given it to the mother, let her know that they had it without her having to track it to find out. Patrice says, I'm starting to wonder if an adult attacked Nolan and the boys may be covering for them. This case is strange and tricky. Here's the thing. Somebody's covering for somebody, in my opinion. Okay, in my opinion, somebody, don't worry, Deronda, I already blocked them, beloved. Okay, I already blocked them. Please pay attention. Hold on. Hold on. Now I have to delete this comment. Oh, some of y'all about to get on my last nerve. Hold on, guys. This chat's moving so fast. Oops, I accidentally banned somebody because this chat's moving so quick. Is Desmond in the chat? Is my moderator Desmond here? Desmond, do me a favor. Hold on. I think only Desmond's going to be able to do it because he's the chief moderator. Is Desmond in the chat? Lord, I accidentally banned Songwriter Sonny. I didn't mean to, Songwriter Sonny. Okay, sorry, beloved. I'll try to unblock you. I'm going to say this one last time. You all stop putting that man's name in my damn chat, okay? And I'm talking to those of you who are responding even to the person who put it in here. You're still saying that man's name, talking about he's a plant. Okay, I'm sure he is, but don't put his name in my chat to say it. Okay, now because he's sending people over here, okay, because somebody was doing this yesterday. He's sending people over here to put his name in my chat. And I'm not the only one. Okay, so if I see it in here again, whoever does it, and I'm not going to keep repeating myself. Okay, if you put it in here again, you're just going to be banned. All right. He's good, Dan. Okay, thank you. You unbanned him. Okay, great. Thanks. Now, let's move on. I hate wasting time on BS. Y'all stop getting on my nerves because y'all know I'll go in a minute. Okay, so thank you, Des. Okay, so with that all being said, let's continue. So, it's a whole lot of conspiracy theories going out, like I said, but the devil's in Mississippi, they're doing a whole lot of lying. And the more we pay attention and gather details or whatever and backtrack to look at other things that they previously have said, this is where we're catching the lies and inconsistencies. Because think about it. Judge Ashley came out with that statement saying, gave us a whole totally different timeline than the one that was given when the GPS data information came out. Now we're listening to this interview that the parents did and remembering that they literally told her they left at 3, but you didn't. That's the last time y'all supposedly saw Nolan for what you said. And then realizing that they literally said Katie is missing. How would they even know that? Okay. And I also want you all to pay attention too to what they're doing. What they're doing is they're setting up their reasonable doubt because they know that they're probably going to end up going to court when this is sent before the grand jury. But so they're already now setting the stages for reasonable doubt so they don't get convicted of anything. Okay. If they are even charged. I want you all to pay attention. That's what they're doing. Because I believe that when they made the distress call from the boat, I don't think they were actually in distress. I don't think they were actually in distress. They didn't even sound like it. They sounded so matter of fact, so nonchalant. Okay? They sounded so nonchalant. So with that all being said, Black Cherry says, shake my head. How you got his phone, but he nowhere around? And who did the girl know besides him? Exactly. Exactly. Okay, I find it all interesting. Jay Gray said, Queen, this is Emmett Till 2.0. This is just like the movie Mississippi Burning. Let me tell you about something. The movie Mississippi Burning, I was watching that movie last night because I was thinking about how some of the stuff in that movie is reminiscent to what's going on here, like the cover up and how the police were involved. The ones supposedly investigating it were the ones with all the dirt on their hands, okay, who were actively trying to sabotage the whole investigation when the FBI joined in, who had hidden all of the evidence and was telling all the lies and intimidating people who would come forward. This is what's going on right here, in my opinion. I was literally watching that movie last night. I fell asleep on it because like two and a half hours, but I was like an hour in before I dozed off. But yes, it is absolutely like that. It's nothing but history repeating itself. Another thing is, some people are so ridiculous. They're sitting up here saying that this is a psyop because why does she look like Mamie Till Mobley? I mean, it's just so creative when you listen to these people that are so ridiculous. But let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. KQ, if you never saw it, beloved, you need to. It's a good movie still.
The biggest controversies in this Nolan Wells case is he would never leave his phone. So many people say, oh, you don't go in the water with your phone. Nobody takes your phone with you in the water, which I get that. We're not questioning him taking the phone onto the island while he's getting in the water and stuff. We're questioning that he is literally leaving the boat he came on and the friend group that he came with. You cannot tell me that he's not going to say, all right, let me grab my phone real quick. I'll tell you what I think happened with the phone. And it has to do with the two different stories that we're getting from Katie and his friends. This post right here, where Katie assumed the friends telling him to get on the boat wouldn't have left him. That is in no way, shape, or form what those friends said that conversation went like. According to the boys, there was no assumption that they weren't going to leave him. He completely knew that they were going to leave, and he said, it's all good. I'll catch another ride. I don't think that's how the conversation went. I think maybe they didn't tell him that they were officially leaving. I wonder if they just weren't that serious about leaving. And that could be why Katie had the impression that his friends wouldn't really leave him. The way they explain it, he knew they were leaving. But if it went the way that Katie said it went, that would explain why he didn't jump to go get his phone. Because I know mostly everybody would definitely say, wait, the friends I came with are leaving and the boat that I came on is leaving. Hold up, let me go get my phone. That's common sense, out on the water or not. So I just wonder if those friends are not trying to look like better friends than what they really were, and that they may have joked about leaving, but not really confirmed with him that they were leaving. Maybe he was never in any agreement to take a different boat home because nobody specified which other boat he was supposed to get on. One of the biggest controversies in this Nolan Wells case.
Okay, all very suspicious. And here's the thing, I'm going to tell you something else that I noticed. So when they were talking, when Katie's mother left that message, she said that Katie's uncle and wife or somebody came to get her, right? And so she was safe. Why would she use that word safe? Because to me, that almost implies that something nefarious or dangerous was going on. They came to get Katie, so she was safe. Did y'all catch that? Did y'all think anything of that? Did y'all pay attention? Because I noticed that from the get-go, from the first day when she posted that. And I remember thinking, safe. That's an interesting choice of word, but I didn't really pay too much attention to it because I was more focused on the guys. But I find that very interesting that she chose that word, like if there was something dangerous going on or something, and so they had to come get Katie to make sure she wasn't involved in it or to make sure she was safe. I don't know. But anyway, let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, this is where they Crush says, Queen, yes. That's exactly what it sounds like. Yes, thank you. Okay, so now this is where they're saying this is suspicious. These pictures of Mamie Till Mobley. Okay, so what do y'all think? They're like, that got Cardi B in the background. That's suspicious. I don't think it's suspicious. I think it's history repeating itself because those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Isn't that how the saying goes? Okay, I find it all very interesting. Lillian says, "Good catch, Queen." Thank you, beloved. I'm just saying, I just noticed that, yeah, she used the word safe. So I just thought that was an interesting choice of words, like I said. Okay, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, so now we're going to get into this whole thing with toast on Linux in just a second. Everyone hit the like button. Thank you in advance, beloveds. Okay, here we go. Hold on. And so this whole Nolan Wells situation is getting more and more interesting as the days go by and more information is revealed. So with that all being said, let's get into it. So what I just noticed this morning that I didn't catch days ago when they released the information on the GPS data is that they literally said that when the boys made the call for distress because the boat was taken in water, they were in the same proximity to where Nolan's body was found 2 days later. And I don't know about you, but I find that very suspicious. Okay, please pay attention. Now, the Cajun Navy gentleman said that his body was found at the northwestern tip of Horn Island, and the call for the distress for the boat was made at the western tip of Horn Island. So Horn Island is only like 10 to 13 miles. And so with that being said, the western tip and the northwestern tip are only about 1 to 3 miles apart. So absolutely in the same proximity. Very interesting. Okay, please pay attention. Also, I find it very interesting that there's a whole lot of Klan activity down there in Mississippi, okay? There are 7 active Klan groups in the state of Mississippi. Not to mention, in Ocean Springs in 2016, there were Klansmen handing out flyers and all of that trying to recruit people, okay? So please pay attention. So when people say this isn't about race, why are y'all trying to make it about race? Well, it may not be about race, but we don't know that just as yet. And we have every reason to suspect that it is because it is very nefarious down there in Mississippi and a whole lot of Klan activity. Not to mention it has now come out that the governor even wore blackface, okay, when he was in college, and then was the keynote speaker at the Sons of the Confederate, some Confederate organization. Okay, please pay attention. Actually, the information about the governor didn't just come out. It's been out. It actually came out before he was the governor, but nonetheless, he still got elected governor, which says a whole lot. But my point is, it's just now coming back to the forefront because of all this stuff that's going on. And this, to me, explains why he didn't even have the decency to give condolences, to offer condolences, okay, or any sorts of empathy to Nolan's parents when he got up there and made that speech. Okay, please pay attention. I would just like to offer prayers and condolences to the family of Timothy Mugambo, who lost his life May the 16th of 2026 in New York after he was going off with some friends who don't look like him. Okay, another story about someone supposedly accidentally drowning. Okay, and then also Chad Lakeith Pittman from Quitman, Mississippi, who lost his life when he went off with some friends who didn't look like him, May the 18th of 2026. Okay, both 18-year-olds. Okay, and y'all don't think this has something to do with race? I'm sorry, but why is it that always the people who look like me go off and they're the ones that don't return back? We don't hear stories about a lone white T person going off with a group of BLK people and everyone returning except for them. And even if we did, you can rest assured that if it even looked the least bit suspicious, they would all, the people that look like me, that is, they would all be arrested and brought in so quick, it would make our heads spin. Okay, please pay attention. Hello, everyone. Now, I want you all to pay attention because TikTok took that video right down, beloveds. They took that video right down. And I was like, what did I do wrong? Oh, I'm sorry. Talking about the Klan being active in Mississippi. Okay, talking about the governor, the blackface. All right. And him being the keynote speaker at that Confederate shindig. Okay, so yeah, they took that video right on down, honey. I find it all so interesting. All I did was tell the truth. Mind you, that's usually when they take down your videos. But hold on, because there's one more theory that now has been thrown in the bucket with all the rest. So allegedly, Ava Dillinger, okay, and Nolan were close friends. It is now being alleged that she lives in the Lovers Lane subdivision in Ocean Springs. Okay, so I don't know what this is all about. Hold on. I don't know, quite frankly, what this is all about. But who Ava Dillinger is. And I remember someone mentioning Ava in a video, and I was thinking, who is Ava? So anyway, they say that she lives in the Ocean Springs or the Lovers Lane subdivision in Ocean Springs, and her home has a boat dock attached to it. It is also being alleged that she was on Horn Island on July the 4th with Nolan and his friends. It has been alleged that she was the one that directed Nolan's family to where the keys were located. It has also been alleged that the very next day, she conveniently flew out of the country. Yeah. Alleged audio of someone named Nicole speaking about Ava Dillinger. Okay, and here's a video of her and Nolan doing a dance. Did y'all hear this? They said that she flew out of the country. So I find that all interesting. Please pay attention. And they also said something about, if I'm not mistaken, Willie D was just talking about it. I'll show his video. It said something about Katie's dad disappeared, if I'm not mistaken. I was in a rush trying to get the live started, but I think that's what he was talking about. So we're going to go to it. Uh-oh, hold on. Whew, I almost got a copyright claim right there. Okay, so I'm not going to have any audio on this because they're just dancing, but the music is copyrighted. It's copyrighted music, so. This is Ava right here in the front. She has a fake beard drawn on her face. So that's who they're talking about. So with that all being said, songwriter Sunny said Queen unlocked characters. So with that all being said, listen. Let's read what it says one more time. It is now being alleged that she lives in the Lovers Lane subdivision in Ocean Springs, and her home has a boat dock attached to it. Okay, that would be convenient if you were trying to hide something, I would imagine. Okay, that was on a boat. Ocean Springs and has a boat dock attached to it. It has also been alleged that she was on Horn Island on July the 4th with Nolan and his friends. It has been alleged that she was the one who directed Nolan's family to where Nolan's keys were located. Okay, she was the person that was supposedly on the phone on FaceTime when the guy was acting like he didn't know where the keys were, and she's the one that supposedly said the keys were on top of the Xbox because she had been there hours earlier, supposedly. So it has also been alleged that the very next day she flew out of the country. And then audio of someone named Nicole speaking about Ava Dillinger. Now, that's interesting. Because where's that audio? I would like to know. Hold on. Let me see something real quick. What audio? That's maybe what I heard. I wonder if it was in a TikTok. I wonder if it was one of those TikTok lives or something that I may have been listening to. That's what I'm wondering. Hold on. Listen to this. Now, I just saw this on Facebook. Okay, so there is a report. Is this a new case? It says a 9-year-old boy was, oh yeah, I reported this already about the 9-year-old boy who was building a fort, and the MAGA minion came over and kicked it over and called him the N-word. Okay, so I don't know where that video is, but I will be looking for it in case I want to, if I find it, then I'll show it to you all later. But so that's what they're saying about Ava. So now what do you all think about that? See, there's a whole lot of things coming out. Some of the speculation makes sense, it's plausible, but some of it just sounds like a reach and clearly like conspiracy theories. Okay? At this point, we still don't know much more than we knew before. But so for right now, let's go to this video of Jayvon and his mom and why she allegedly nudged him. Maybe she was just moving her arm. I don't know. But if she was nudging him, I would like to know why. So everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Here we go.
You recall seeing him at all that day?
Yes, ma'am. I did see him when I was.
You recall seeing him at all that day?
Yes, ma'am. I did see him when I was out there on the island.
You know, this friend of his, Trayston, also told ABC that that video people have been talking about that was said to show some sort of altercation, it did not involve Nolan. He said it was actually him yelling in the video and that you and a family member were holding him back because he'd been in a fight. Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am. We were calming Trayson down. In that video where he said, "Give me my effing phone back," it sounds like him. So I'm pretty sure that he was right on that. But I'm pretty sure that he was right on that. But I'm pretty sure that he was right on that.
Now, when he says, I'm pretty sure that he was right on that, then he's acknowledging that that was Nolan asking for the keys. Is that because that's what I took it as he was saying that the person was right on that, but that Trayston was the one arguing. But now, once in the chats, if it looked like she purposely nudged him, because I can't really tell, it looked like maybe she moved her arm. I'm not sure. Do you all think, Call Me Darling said her eyes told it all. Do you all think that she literally nudged him? Like maybe to shut him up or something? What do y'all think? Okay, so that's very interesting. So most of you all are saying yes, it looks like she nudged him. Why do you all think she would have nudged him? Because it seems like she nudged him right when he was asked about if he saw him on the island that day. But why would it not be okay for him to say yes? I have several questions. Uh hey Queen, did you see Ben Crump on Rolling? No, I don't watch Rolling, beloved. I don't watch Rolling. Not about it. But Brittany says could have been adjusting her shirt. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. It was so slight. It's kind of hard to say for me. You have to watch the full video. We did watch the full video days ago when it first came out, beloved. And it's so crazy because I literally just deleted that darn video out of my queue the other day, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and it's something told me to keep it in there. Anyway, maybe I'll go back to it. I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to it later because I think I still have it in my deleted files. Okay, but yeah, like I said, if she did nudge him, why? What would be the point? Just very interesting. Okay, so let's move on because we still don't have all the answers. We'll know more when the autopsy report comes out. If it comes out and says that he accidentally drowned, what are y'all going to say? We already know the Macaminians are going to say, oh, y'all were just reaching, told you, y'all were lying, y'all were making up stuff. I don't think it's going to come out and say that, but even if it does, listen, for me, there's still some suspicious that went on. Okay, regardless, to me, there was still something suspicious that went on. Okay, all of this stuff. And then, like I said, the, hold on his TMZ interview, he was claiming that that was him in that argument and not knowing, or am I remembering wrong? He was claiming that that was his other friend. That's what he said in the TMZ interview. He said it was another friend of his arguing when he was on TMZ. He said it was another friend of his arguing. He was trying to help break them up or something, or they were trying to keep him calm, and said some parents had to try to get him to calm down or whatever. That's what he said in the TMZ interview. Okay. Jay Grace said she nudged him. Look at her eyes, and Jayvon eyes during the headlights. Remember, his phone was in the same dry bag as Nolan's phone on the initial trip to Horn Island. Right. I remember that both of their phones were in there, and he told us how he got his phone back on TMZ. But do you all think that makes him suspicious? You're right, Queen. Something's fishy. Yeah, something is definitely fishy. It's not like they're going to find KKK robe fabric in his nails. A songwriter, Sonny, please sit down somewhere. Okay, Crush as Shepherd Queen. Trayston Shepherd. I don't know. The Nolan didn't deserve that statement. Get on that topic. The Nolan didn't deserve that statement. Get on that topic. What statement are you talking about? This whole thing is crazy. Do we know that Nolan is really not on Earth? I thought his family have not seen the body. Oh my God, not another conspiracy theory, beloved. Do we know that he's not on Earth? Yes, we do. His body was literally sent to Washington for a second autopsy. Why would you think his body wasn't on Earth? Do you think this is part of the psyop as well, that he's not even dead? What is all this going on for? Why are they doing an investigation? Why is the FBI down there trying to protect the family, or the thugs and their families who claim that they didn't have anything to do with it? Of course he's dead. Okay? I don't think this is something just made up, something concocted, beloved. Okay, I see, this is what I'm talking about. I don't know where y'all get these fantastical ideas from. I really don't. I mean, I'm pretty sure some of y'all get it from the Mega Millions. So anyway, let's continue. The last thing I want to do is this. Reggie says, please stop. Okay, I implore you, please do. So the next thing I want to do is go to Willie D's video. As I said, Willie D was saying something. It sounded like a conspiracy or something, information people have put out there. Basically, it sounded like the girl Katie's father, that's his boat, allegedly. And it sounded like he says the man disappeared or something. Now, they already are saying that Ava left the country, which I don't know if that's true or not. Okay, I just saw that posted on Facebook. But this is all getting real crazy. Okay, let's get into it. Like, everyone, please like and share.
Well, what do we have here? More lies and inconsistencies in the Nolan Wells case. Before I go any further, couple of shout outs. One to Secret Service Sam, where I first saw the story, and two to We Are Human 2, where Sam says he first saw the story. I want to show you a couple of videos, well, actually a video and a couple of photos. And you tell me what you see, fam. Let's start with the video. This video is allegedly of Nolan Wells on an unidentified boat. Now, I said that the boat was unidentified because we can't quite make out exactly what it is, but Secret Service Sam tried to do the best that he could. This is the picture that was taken from the video, and he enhanced it and came up with this. That says, Little Daddy. Now, I believe it was the guy who runs the page, We Are Human 2, who said he don't believe that it says little or Lil Daddy, but the daddy part I don't think is disputable, but the first part of it is in question. Now, what's the significance of this boat? Well, word on the street is that that boat belongs to this man. Now, who is this man? Allegedly, this man is the father of the so-called girl, the mystery girl that Nolan was hanging out with. Word on the street.
Let me remove the overlay so you all can see. That is supposedly the owner of the boats. Okay, Katie's father.
It is this guy is this guy. This is Katie's father. Now, what's the significance? Well, if our guy, Nolan, is indeed on this boat, if this is the same boat, then Katie got some explaining to do, because Katie, let her tell it, says she briefly spoke to Nolan, and then he took off and started about his business to hanging out with his buddies, who I believe actually killed him. Also, if that is indeed Nolan on that boat, then that could change the timeline. Once again, that's him. Now, here's the deal, fam. This guy, once he got wind of people talking about him on the internet and pointing him out as perhaps having some type of association to Nolan's death, he vanished. Poof. He vanished. He just totally disappeared, went dark. You know, the internet is just the internet. It ain't like when people leave a comment that it's a bullet released from a chamber and it goes inside of your body. It ain't like it's a stab wound or something. It's just people with digital messages. So why are you running? Why are you hiding? What are you afraid of? That's what I need to know. What exactly are you afraid of? Why are they all hiding? Why are they running scared? All of his friends who had their names mentioned then went dark. They deleted their social media accounts. Some of them have scrubbed the internet. You can't find a picture of them anywhere. My thing is, if you're so bold, you're so big and bad, you're so proud of your work, what are you running from? Why are you hiding like a coward? That's what I want to know. Speaking of coward, there's a woman who has something to say to these cowards who move in that manner. She also lost a son under similar circumstances. Yeah. She lost her son, TJ Davis. But this was 5 years ago, and it's just coming to light. It's just starting to get some kind of traction. TJ's buddies, his white friends, came to pick him up from his mother's house. And that was the last time he was seen alive. They picked him up from his mama's house. Next thing you know, they say he drowned. Picked him up. Next thing you know, he's dead. Once again, the black guy is dead. The white guys return home and live to tell the story. Interesting.
Hi, my name's Shira Davis, and my son's name's TJ Davis, and I'll tell you about him in a minute. I want to tell Nolan Wells' family my deepest condolence. I'm so sorry about your baby, and I know firsthand. In 2021, August 29th, my son was out with 4 white tee young men. And this is in St. Paul, Minnesota. I get a knock on the door early in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, that my son is gone. My son was a swimmer. He had swimming lessons. He was the strongest and the biggest out of all of them. And none of them have talked. None of them have talked to the police. They don't want to. It's going on 5 years. 5. August 29th this year. He would have been 26 years old this year. His father, my son's father, showed me the link yesterday about Nolan Wells. And it was very triggering for both of us because it's like the similar, very similar. But none of my videos about my son went viral. All you creators that I tagged, that I asked, didn't talk about my son. And that hurts. And I'm not taking anything away from Nolan Wells and his family at all. But y'all pick and choose who you want to talk about. And I'm still trying to find answers. Let's talk about Kendrick Johnson Jr., Miss Jackie, and Mr. Kendrick Sr., 13 years. And they still don't have answers. And I don't see y'all blowing that up either. Do better. I will keep making videos. I'm just so burnt out. Grief is taking a lot out of me. And that's what happens when you lose a child. And I just want to say, dear Black parents, don't let your Black child, I don't care if it's female, male, go out with all white tea people, because you don't know. You don't know.
Okay, so I let that video play for those of you who didn't see it, because I actually showed that video over a week ago on a live. And that lady, I feel so sorry for her, what she went through. But if she reached out to creators to ask them to share her son's story and they did not, she simply reached out to the wrong people. She simply reached out to the wrong people, because anyone who reaches out to me to share their child's story, I don't care what race they are, ethnic group, or whatever, I will share the child's story. Okay, because children are innocent in these things. And injustices upon young people by nefarious other people need to always be called out, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, and I'm specifically going to call them out in my own community, but even if someone isn't from my community and want me to tell their story, I will. I'm sorry she didn't get justice and she still has answers and nobody shared her son's story. That's awful. That's really awful. And now she probably feels like, they felt her son's story wasn't big enough, wasn't important enough, or whatever. But she just reached out to the wrong people, because there are absolutely some of us who would have told the story. Okay, so that all being said, listen, what do you all think about, they're saying that Katie's father fled, that he's run off somewhere? And they're also saying this girl, Ava Bellinger, has fled or run off somewhere, said she left the country. So you mean to tell me that 2 potential witnesses have vanished? They're out of here? Why is everybody on the run? Somebody knows something. Now, I have to wonder if Katie knows something. Not saying she was maybe involved, but does she know something? Okay, I have so many questions. Does she possibly know something? Is that why her mother said that the uncle and his wife came to get her, and that's why she was safe? I don't know. This is getting real crazy. Like I said, more questions on a daily basis. Even when we think we're finding some things out or coming to something, then something else pops off. Now, we don't know for sure if that man is Katie's father, and if that was for a fact the same boat. Okay, we don't know that as of yet, but I mean, they're coming to a lot of conclusions, so we're just going to have to sit back and wait. The best thing I can say is we need to wait for the autopsy report, but we'll still keep guessing and speculating in the meantime, because that's what internet detectives do, right? That's what we do. Okay, so now with that all being said, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Let's talk about these the Chinese restaurants. They're supposed to be going out of business. Okay, and so it looks like this redistribution of wealth is really impacting them. Let's talk about it.
Is the fact that most of your favorite local Chinese restaurants that are being owned by like Chinese immigrants are probably not going to be around within the next 10 to 15 years. And this is because, for context, my parents own a Chinese restaurant, and basically all of our friends and family in our like community also own their own Chinese restaurants. So, what I know is happening is that a lot of these people who came to America, a couple decades ago, opened up their Chinese restaurants. They're getting to the age now where they are trying to figure out how to retire and how to essentially like what to do with the business. And so one of the options obviously is to sell it.
Is that what it is? Or did y'all figure out that y'all people wrote a check that your ass couldn't cash? And now it's bouncing. I don't feel bad at all, because this is a long time coming. And it's not to say that we're just trying to boycott businesses to hurt y'all. Listen, it's not about y'all. It's about us. It's about the fact that we've been coming into your businesses, patronizing y'all businesses, but yet we're treated like we're nothing. Yet we're treated like we're nothing. We're treated as if our dollars don't matter. We're treated as if you're tired of dealing with us. Yet you open up service industry companies where you have to provide customer service, you have to provide food, you have to provide us. You're cleaning our feet. But yet you don't respect us. We're just dirty people. Man, listen, it's crazy. It's crazy. And it's so funny seeing all of these think pieces go online and they still fail to realize where all of this is coming from. As if we just got up one day and said, let's just boycott business. No. Where do you think the whole term hurry up and buy came from? Y'all been tired of us in your stores. You say it's because we're stealing and all of this stuff. Why keep opening up stores in the neighborhoods with us then? It's almost as if you can't open them anywhere else. And see, what's funny is you talk about the people moving here and immigrants are not opening up these businesses anymore. Or can immigrants not come over here the same way they did before because of this current administration? Oh, and let's talk about the fact that y'all come over here and don't like us, don't respect our money. Y'all treat us like we're less than, but you're doing our feet. You're serving us food. It's almost as if the higher class Asian community over there still in their country didn't have to come mingle with the lessers. Am I getting somewhere with this? It's almost as if this is like a second-rate job that y'all do here. Even though it's your business, you have to clean and file the feet of the very people that you despise. Let's wear that for size. I don't get it. But then y'all feel like y'all are better than us here, but y'all know how y'all are looked at home. Y'all know how people look at you at home. The people with the tech companies, the people with the pharmaceuticals, not the Chinese restaurants in the hood, not the nail salons where you got to scrape the feet of us niggas in the hood. We thought y'all was a quiet, docile community till everybody got online and drove saying how much y'all didn't need the black dollar. But if y'all don't need it so much, why is it a problem if we're not patronizing your businesses anymore? Why the uproar? What are you scared of? What are you scared of? Is it that your people not going to support your business? They don't need their feet done? They don't need their nails done? They don't want to eat Chinese food? Oh, y'all don't eat the Chinese food that you serve to us. Oh. Yeah, what are we even talking about here? See, and it's funny because I did a video on the stock market and how it's crashing in Korea, but everybody got in the comments saying it has nothing to do with what's going on in America. Listen, common sense ain't so common anymore.
Okay, I forgot I was muted. So no lies detected, in my opinion. And listen, I think it's very interesting that now all of a sudden, after all these decades, she's talking about uh the people that own the Chinese restaurants and don't want to keep doing it and they're going to close. Yeah, they're not making any money, quite frankly. This just goes to see how much power that we have with our money, people. You should really be taking note of this. Okay? We literally can crush their economy. All right, from the money that they've been making off of our dollars in our community. Like, this was the biggest mistake they could have ever made. They should never have even tried it. And at the end of the day, you know, you can keep on just mistreating people, disparaging them, being so rude and nasty and disrespectful as long as you want and think you're going to continue to get their money. At some point, it's going to come to an end. Okay? It's going to come to an end. Anyway, with that all been said, now let's talk about toast on Lenox. Lord have mercy. Why did the owner do it? Okay, so many people in Atlanta love this restaurant, mind you. Okay, now I've never been, but anyway, I've heard it was nice. But nonetheless, she let this racist devil, who's a MAGA man who loves Trump and wants to be like Trump, okay? And so she let this man come for a sit down at her restaurant, and I'm still trying to figure out why. And then they want us to think that they don't share his same views and values. Well, if you don't, then why would you allow him to come there for a photo op? Because that's all it was. You see, these people who don't look like us and don't like us, they always want to try to use us to promote themselves during campaigns. So it looks like they're not hateful and racist and that they really are not going to try to do anything nefarious and make laws and policy to disrupt Black people's lives. Okay, so I find it interesting that she allowed this man to come. And so, no, I won't be supporting her. Now, listen. There are some Black people saying, well, I'm not going to not support them because they're Black owned. Well, here's the thing. Just because a business is black owned, honey, they can get the same smoke as the Asians can, as far as I'm concerned. At the end of the day, if you're not with me, you're against me. And if you're going against my best interest, okay, you think I'm going to come and spend money with you, you need to think again. Now, some of y'all may not feel that way, but that's how I feel about it. And quite frankly, I happen to know that there are a whole lot of other black people that feel the same way. Okay, because they effed around and found out, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, because if we're trying to get ahead as a people, we're trying to move forward and get things that we need and things that we're asking for, or just to be able to live our lives freely, to be able to keep our rights and to be able to just, move through life equally as everyone else. We don't get it with these type of black folk who do these sorts of things. Because why are you trying to help those who want to oppress us? Like, make it make sense. Okay. And I told you all plenty of times, and I'm sure you all know yourselves, that they love to get the people who look like us but don't care about us to do these things and say, oh yeah, see, these black people even support me. The black folk like me. No, we don't. No, we don't. The raccoons may, but those of us with sense, we do not. So let's get into it, because I have a compilation of videos. Now, first, what you're going to see is his campaign, what he said during the campaign. Okay, that's enough for me right there. That's enough for me right there. Now, I don't love Keisha Lance Bottoms, but I would sure vote for her before I would ever vote for him. And what I wouldn't do ever is sit down face to face for any sort of discussion. And like I said, photo op, anything that's going to benefit this devil. Okay, that's what I wouldn't do. Now, if this devil was going to do something to benefit my people, okay, yeah, we can talk about it, but I'm going to watch it real close and I'm going to listen real good. And I'm going to read even the small print so you can't get away with anything, because I know the tricks of the devils. But here's the thing. Like I've told you all before, sometimes even when you don't want to sit down with these type of people, sometimes you have to sit down and talk to the devil to make it through hell. And that's what I was telling you all what Ice Cube did when he sat down with Trump, because the Democrats didn't want to listen, didn't want to talk. Wait till after the elections, what they said. But then y'all turned on Ice Cube and started calling him a raccoon and said he sold us out and all of that. But the same people who were saying it didn't do anything for black people themselves, they had no ideas. All they had were the problems they wanted to discuss and no solutions. Okay, so like, step, everyone, please like and share. Let's get into it.
I genuinely need to know, are y'all's political commercials this bad too?
The straight-talking, Trump-supporting, self-made outsider tells it like it is.
I took beatings from an alcoholic parent and went hungry many, many nights. But the abuse some kids face today is far sicker. It's mutilation, irreversible. Those who would change a child's gender to alter their sex won't just face the administrative fines of today. As governor, I'll put them in jail.
Down here, half of the Republican campaign ads are literally just candidates dragging each other or other crazy stuff like that clip I just showed you. One commercial from Rick Jackson literally uses the tagline, be deported or be departed.
I don't care if you're Muslim or Mongolian. You don't have the right to force your culture on our country.
Conservative Rick Jackson.
So here's my guarantee to them. Do that when I'm governor, and you'll end up deported or departed.
Rick Jackson for Georgia.
Any questions?
Meanwhile, Burt Jones is asking Rick Jackson during, it looks like a debate, so you've never had any illegals, that's the word he uses, so you don't have any illegals working for you, and Rick Jackson literally responds, I don't know. And then somebody's yelling about Trump endorsements for like 30 seconds straight. That's all of them. And I'm sitting here like, okay, but like, what do y'all actually plan on doing in office? Like, where are the platforms? Where are the policies? I feel like every commercial is just like, this man is dangerous. No, this man is dangerous. He's forcing children to get sex change operations. That literally happened, y'all. Meanwhile, I still don't know a single thing about their healthcare policies, education, infrastructure, housing, nothing from these people, minus my girl, like Miss Keisha Lance Bottoms, obviously. So I want people from other states to weigh in, like, are political ads this unhinged everywhere, or is Georgia just the boonies? I don't
Y'all, Rick Jackson is here in one of the most diverse counties in Georgia. Couldn't get in, but I really wanted to ask him why he felt like it was okay for him to try to win a race by completely villainizing and vilifying our communities. Again, Gwinnett is one of the most diverse places in the state, and for him to just come here and do a campaign event without actually addressing it or apologizing for the fear mongering that he is using to try to win his primary is unacceptable.
My father did leave me when I was 9 months old. My mother was an alcoholic. I had 7 stepfathers by the time I was 12. She got drunk again, and I told my uncle, I'm not going to do this, I'm going to run away. When you live like I did, you don't have food on the table. You don't forget that, and you don't forget the people that struggle.
Dad, do you all hear this sad forlorn story of struggle, okay, that he had to go through, saying that he had 7 stepfathers by the time he was 7 or 12? What? Sitting there trying to tell these fantastical stories, in my opinion, to make it seem like he's just the average Joe. But it really, in him saying those things, really shows you how he views the average person. So he views the average person not as being from a productive family where the mom and dad had jobs and worked hard and took care of the bills, but they have to be someone who had all these different men in their lives of their children sleeping around, okay, being 304s, drinking alcohol, until they became inebriated, not taking good care of the children and all of that. Okay, so that's what he's saying about these people. Did they catch it? Well, let's continue. And then someone told me that in one of his ads, he said that he was from Techwood. Anyone from Atlanta in the chat, let me know. Because this man, if he really said that, now I haven't seen that footage, so I can't substantiate the claims, but someone literally told me last night that this man said that he was from Techwood. If anybody from Atlanta knows what Techwood was, I'm sorry, make it all make sense, but let's continue.
I'm the only candidate in this race who doesn't owe a thing to the political establishment.
Rick Jackson's not full of crap like some of the other politicians.
I think he's the man of his word.
Georgia families are getting squeezed. Groceries cost more, rent costs more, healthcare costs more, and property taxes are completely out of control.
I support Mr. Jackson because I believe in what he says.
Like Trump, Rick doesn't back down.
As governor, my mission is simple. Make Georgia the most affordable state in America.
The insiders hate him, and I'm all in on that.
There's no BS about him.
I'll spend whatever it takes to win this race. Take away their power, give it back where it belongs, to the people of Georgia, especially the hardworking men and women who have been forgotten and left in the shadows for too long, just like I was.
Now look how he's here with all the black folk, okay? Shaking hands and all of that. All right, I deleted the music because I don't want any copyright issues. But look, he's out there trying to make it all look good, okay? Please pay attention. Now that's the owner of the restaurant, Toast on Lenox. She took a picture with him and everything, but so seriously, don't sit here and try to make us think or try to, act as though you don't support this man, please.
This guy is going into businesses like the Mexican restaurant he went into, but yet he's running commercials saying you'll be deported or you will be departed. This guy's going into, a black-owned restaurant owned by, a woman, and he is saying that he wants to criminalize people who promote DEI programs. This is a guy who has gone into a black barbershop but says he's going to be Donald Trump's favorite governor, Trump with a Southern tone. So I just want to caution all of us. I'm assuming any
Toast on Lenox, y'all really F the city up with this one, because when I tell you I love me some Toast on Lenox, but I cannot stand by y'all with this. No, I'm not for the cancel culture, but y'all really messed up, and y'all can't backpedal and coochie pop with this one. At the end of the day, this man had an agenda and y'all freaking fell for it, unless y'all are one of the maggots. Because I know for a fact that man did not go in there to eat a catfish or a grits, a French or a toast. He came in there for those photos so he could post and say, see, the blacks like me. Vote for me too. And then the chef want to come out making all these posts trying to save face and the business. Talk about a discussion is not a vote. And this is what's wrong with our community. We don't want to sit down and have a conversation. We just want to sit around and counsel. And you're right, a discussion may not mean a vote, but it means a whole hell of a lot. And it speaks volumes because it's nowhere in the world anybody can convince me to not only sit down with a maggot or somebody that supports that man on Pennsylvania Avenue, or his words, not mine. I am going to be just like that man on Pennsylvania Avenue, just with a Southern tone. Nobody can convince me to sit down with somebody like that and have a conversation because there's nothing to discuss. He literally made a post and said that he is going to criminalize reverse discrimination and get rid of every bit of that idiotic DEI insanity. I.e., I'm not effing with you blacks. For you not to foresee this backlash coming from the black community is idiotic insanity. Or maybe you simply didn't care because you are a true maggot.
I mean, no lies detected.
People like you really upset me because you try to change the conversation. I'm not going to allow you to do that here. Nobody in my video, nobody in the comments said anything about you or her or anybody else not having the power to vote for whoever you want. This is the United States of America. Go ahead, find your closest, poll and go ahead and vote for Rick Jackson. Take it with you. What we said is there is consequences for the actions and the decisions that you make. And it is tough, and I would say impossible, to be in community with people who don't even see you or recognize basic human decency, as is the case with Rick Jackson. He has no interest in having Muslims here. He has no interest in having immigrants here. These are things that he said out of his mouth. So why would I want to be in community with somebody like that? And why would I want to support the business of somebody who supports him? So again, you can vote for whoever you want. Nobody is stopping you. But understand that people who want to spend their money are going to spend it in places with people that have commonalities, likeness, and share values that they share. And when you don't, then you see a mass exodus like I'm assuming we're about to see with Toast on Linux.
Toast on Linux in major backlash after the owner appeared on Ray Jackson's page. It's real messy, and guess what? Who jumped in? My new future governor, the only one that matters, that is Miss Keisha Lance Ball.
Don't allow people to piss on us and then tell us that it's raining.
Step on up. Let's talk about it. Guys, so I was on the internet last night and I was in shock. Let me show y'all what I saw. This picture right here with this man, Rick Jackson, that is, and he put, as governor, I will fight for Georgians, including Tamra. What? Why he put her in it? And he says she's not only the successful owner of Toast on Linux, but she's also inspiring him. Okay. He was so grateful for the conversation that they had. Okay. And he said that the food, the Southern food, the black food was amazing. Okay. But then I got to them comments, y'all. And when I tell y'all, the commenters don't be playing in our faces. They say, throw that toast away. Just like Trump. Ooh, he's trying to exploit the moment, Black Queen. Run. He was. I think that it sucks. Commenters was losing it, guys. I was in shock. I was getting phone calls left and right. And then the other owner jumped in and voiced his opinion. I was like, my God, it was to the point where they released their own statement. In the statement, they made it clear Toast on Linux does not endorse Rick Jackson, okay? They did not do a campaign, and they are not at all affiliated with this man. But then the woman who's really running for Congress stepped in. Now, y'all, Keisha wasn't playing with him at all. Now, let me first off, before we even add in her voices and what matters, let's talk about the issues. Is this man right here for months and months have been telling us what he's going to do. Okay, he done told y'all what he going to do. And then not only did he tell us that, But he also showed us what he was going to do. And not only that, they saying he has a few issues, shall we say. He's not good in the court of law. He's got some fraud on his hands.
Keep going. If we can't teach Christianity in schools, we're not going to let them teach the religion of woke ideology. We'll ban DEI insanity and criminalize reverse discrimination.
Now I want y'all to pay attention. He said we'll criminalize reverse discrimination. What do they consider reverse discrimination? I'm so glad you asked. When we call out their racism, when we talk about the things they do to continually try to oppress us, when we talk about them discriminating against us for houses, loans, jobs, okay, and those sort of things. Okay, things that happen to our children disproportionately in school as opposed to children or their white counterparts. Those are things that he says he will criminalize because they're reverse discrimination or reverse racism. So you're going to put people in jail for speaking out against racism. Charges will be pressed. Is that what he's saying? Because that's what it sounds like. And so here's the thing. When Robin says, didn't we act the same way when Ice Cube spoke to Trump? Yes, some foolish people did. But it was a difference because Ice Cube went to Trump. Trump didn't come to him. Okay, Ice Cube went to Trump to try to get something for Black people. He went to the Democrats first, just like I previously said a few minutes ago. He went to get something to help us. This is different. Rick Jackson came to her to get something to help him. And that's called publicity. And that's called a photo op. And that's called trying to make it look as though the Black community is down with him and he's down with us, which is absolutely lies and BS, beloved. So there's the difference.
When they say that Atlanta is not a real place, I need y'all to consider this for all of Georgia. Because right now we have a billionaire who is running for governor who was just caught scamming. I ain't talking about a long time ago. He was just caught in 2024 scamming.
District of Washington announced Jackson and Coker, as well as physician Edward Salko, agreed to pay $700,000 to resolve allegations that they participated in a kickback scheme to bill Medicare for medically unnecessary equipment.
And this is who's supposed to save Georgia.
Nevertheless, and my biggest issue with all of this, because we're not really trying to tear a Black business down, because we love Toast on Lenox. The food is amazing, the service is always great, and the ambiance.
He's speaking for himself. He doesn't want to stop going there because that's one of his favorite restaurants. He's already made that abundantly known, okay? So, yeah, he's going to keep eating there. It's all he's saying.
This is why we come. The Black ambiance, the culture. When you come to Toast, you're coming for the culture. And to find out that you might whitewash the culture for a bag, that ain't right.
We the people said, then all the Democrats and their shields attacked Ice Cube for that. Black people attacked Ice Cube too. Those people that said things about Ice Cube, Black people didn't back him up. That's what Black people didn't do collectively. Some of us did. Some of us went in on them. But many Black people didn't say anything. They said the same things that those people were saying, beloved.
Y'all, check out what my future governor had to say.
So there's been a lot of online chatter about my opponent, Rick Jackson, visiting minority-owned businesses. So I support small businesses. It's what I do. What I take exception with is when we let a thing become the thing. This guy is going into businesses like the Mexican restaurant he went into, but yet with a Southern.
Support us. Okay, that's my first stance. Second, I absolutely love the restaurant. I eat there all the time. We order their food all the time. We send people, when they be like, best restaurants to eat at, I'd be like, Toast. But what we can't do, and what Keisha see, but what we can't do, is allow them to pee on you and then tell you it's raining.
You know, we can tell that he eats there all the time. He looks like he loves to eat, as far as I'm concerned. But let's continue, honey. He's not going to stop going, period, okay?
Black collective, Black women should put our money where? To who? People who.
Hold on.
Do it. You stand on. So I don't want us to stop them, but I do want.
Have gone to Toast on Lenox, you should stop going because She is propping up a what? Ridiculous billionaire. Yes, you have heard it here from Hannah from Atlanta. She is propping out a ridiculous billionaire as a Black woman. And as someone who was born in Atlanta at Northside Hospital and was raised in the Metro Atlanta and has come into the city many, many times, I really never understood why people want to toast on Lenox. Honestly, quite frankly, there are so many better restaurants that will not provide you mid-tier service. Allegedly. So, class, today I'm telling you, do not go to Toast on Lenox. If you actually want to support a Black-owned business, let's drop them in the comments below. Because what? We, Black collective, Black women, should put our money where? To people who care. Have a great Thursday.
I just had to come on here and discuss this whole topic. One of the things that came to my mind first when I saw this is his campaign. If you obviously living under a rock or you don't live in Georgia. His commercial was on the TV, on the radio, and he said he is blank 2.0. And that if you don't get out of his country or out of his state, you will be deported or departed. So he gonna get you out of here in a body bag. The commercial actually has the people he's talking to. As I'm saying this, I'm remembering, as a person that's been to this restaurant multiple times, those are the people she employed. Like, her employees is who he's talking to. So when someone comes on here and says, oh, well, you can have a conversation, you may not be the target today, but you'll be the target tomorrow. So I want to go against a lot of these tweets where you guys are trying to be the contrarian. So let me get this right. Y'all are boycotting Toast because a man running for governor went in there knowing it was one of the most popular Black spots in Atlanta and decided to take a picture with the owner. What are you talking about? Why would that be a medal? Are you crazy? The lady in nowhere endorsed that man. She only posed for a picture. Why would I be posing for a picture? Or sitting down to talk to him? This person right here, his campaign is diabolical. Posing for a picture, this is a sit down. Also, what can he possibly be telling her that she doesn't already know via his campaign? Another one, I'm Black, I'm not a monolith tweets. Contrarian. Let's normalize people doing what they want to do. Every Black person does not have to vote as a Democrat. Duh. But everyone has to vote in their interest. I would think that her workers, albeit Hispanics, majority, no longer be beneficial to her and no longer be able to work there if he becomes governor. I don't understand. You should vote in your interest, and I think that voting for him would not be in her interest. Anyways, shake my head. Y'all love to try to tear down a Black business with no facts, but will be the same people standing in line to take a picture with R. Kelly. Girl, what are you talking about? Then this was their response. This is ChatGPT. They don't even care enough to apologize. Like, someone even tweeted, y'all go to work and some of y'all's co-workers voted for. I'm not showing my teeth in no picture with nobody that goes against my morals and my values. Remember how I'm not making this about any party affiliation or even race. This conversation for me is not even about race. That's the obvious. It's not even about gender. It's not even about party affiliation. It has everything to do with my best interests and my morals and values. She has a lot of immigrant workers, documented or undocumented.
About what I would do and what I would
Documented, I don't know. Inept. And the other thing that's blowing me is she didn't post the picture. He did. Because it was beneficial to him. It's not beneficial to you. That's what I'm saying. You have to do things in your best interest. And one other thing, this picture released on Monday or Tuesday. And as a Toast girly, well, former Toast girly, they don't open on Monday and Tuesday.
So the other day I opened up a bit much about what I would do and what I would sacrifice to avenge my sons or
All right, with that all being said, excuse me, that last clip didn't belong with that. I got my receipts confused. So let me say this. Here's the thing. Some people are still going to support the restaurant, and that's fine. Like, I totally would not. She allowed that man to play in her face and to use her. And like the young lady said, he's the one that posted that, she didn't, because it was for a photo op. It was just to make himself look good. It was for him to try to appease the black folk that would vote for someone like him, despite his mindset and his political thoughts and views. And the fact that he's not going to do anything to help our people significantly. He's not going to do anything at all to help our people. In fact, what he's going to do is going to be to our detriment. And that's obvious. Anyone who says they're going to criminalize DEI, they're going to criminalize reverse racism, when really there's no such thing. But like I told you, they view that, people with his mindset view that as us calling out their racism. It's like the trolls that get in the chat saying foolish things, and then when I go in on them and tell them about themselves as they're trying to talk about me, and then they say, oh, you're racist. You see how they tried to reverse the script? Now, all of a sudden, they're the victims of oppression, and we're the ones being the bullies and trying to keep our feet on their necks. This is what they do. It's the trick of the devil. Okay, and that's what he did. He played her. Quite frankly, she didn't get a darn thing out of the deal. He didn't even give her a good review. Okay, on her restaurant. He just said something along the lines of, this is a business owner, and she not only inspires me, but she inspires other people who want to be entrepreneurs, or something along those lines. Knowing darn well that woman doesn't inspire him. Inspire him to do what? Okay? Inspire him to do what? She doesn't inspire him. Secondly, like I said, the fact that he was at her restaurant sitting there at an empty table, mind you, they could have at least put food on the table to make it look good. He could have at least had a bite to eat. Okay? Now, is she going to invite Keisha Lance Bottoms there? Probably not. All right? I just find that very in poor taste and just so stupid and obtuse, in my opinion. So, with that all being said, yeah, I won't be supporting her, and hopefully many people who think like me won't. Okay? Sorry, I don't cheer for people who do anything they can to help me to fail, because that's what that was. You trying to help that man win the election, honey. Even if she wants to claim that's not what she was doing, you were helping him regardless. Okay? And then people like her will always try to act as though, oh, no, I wasn't doing that. He just wanted to come. He just happened to be there. Oh, but you took a picture standing side by side. You took a picture standing side by side, and like the lady said, she didn't post it, but he did. And you know why she didn't post it on her social media? Because she already knew what we would say about it. Most of us. She likely thought maybe we wouldn't notice, because if we're not going to vote for him, we'd never know about the picture. We'd be none the wiser. I don't know what she thought. But clearly we all know. Okay, clearly we all know. So, honey, I just can't do it in my good conscience. At the end of the day, that was so stupid, and I'm just so annoyed about it. And then for the chef to come out and try to save the day by talking about a discussion isn't a vote. It doesn't matter. The fact that you did anything that could possibly, even remotely, has any potential of helping him to get votes from black folk is a problem. The fact, I feel like we were slapped in the face, like totally disrespected by the things that man has said during his campaign to blatantly let us know he don't like people who look like us. Okay, and you're going to let him come and sit down at your restaurant, and then you're going to take a picture with him? Please. And then they had someone post a video the other day of their restaurant. They had people in there, and the lady was like, yeah, the food's good and this and that. And as you can see, we still have customers coming in. Yeah, you might still have customers coming in, but the word hasn't finished being spread yet, boo-boo, because we're going to continue to spread it. At the end of the day, listen, if people continue to go, that's fine. Like I said, I'm not going to be going there, and nor am I going to promote it or encourage anyone to do so. Okay, I absolutely will not. I think people who are raccoons amongst us need to be called out. And if you have a black-owned business and you do things like this, well, then you need to know there's consequences, just like everybody else. Okay, this is just for agents or whomever. It goes for anybody that goes against us, god darn it. Anybody that goes against us and what we have is on our agenda needs to pay the consequences, even if you have black skin. That's how that goes. Okay, that's how that goes. Period. All right? I don't fool with raccoons. Y'all heard the lyrics in my song, okay? I don't dap raccoons. And none of us should. They're not to be trusted. Every time things have gone wrong from us throughout history, guess who was always right there, whispering in the white man's ear, telling them all of our secrets, telling them how to infiltrate, coming and sitting quietly amongst us as if they're down with our agenda, and then going and repeating everything that was said in the meeting to the FBI, okay, to the police, acting as whole informants. It's always black folk, raccoons. So raccoons are never to be trusted. They never mean any of us any good. And sadly, these raccoons never realize that one of these days they're going to get their ninja wake-up calls. And then when they do, who do they want to come to their defense? Us. Okay. Now, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude the broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, I may be back later on today. If I do, it'll probably be around 7:30. Okay, not a promise. Sounds like it's about to storm here, so I don't know. I might be asleep, honey. Y'all know when it rains, I like to rest. Okay, and so anyway, with that all been said, I hope you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Also, if you have not been receiving your notifications, please do yourself a favor and double check to make sure you're still subscribed to the Queen's channel. Until next time, I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got